Well, this last preseason game is obviously the most important of all for so many players, including almost 47 players who potentially face getting cut or getting moved to the practice squad. We're going to cover why it's so important, even though a lot of starters aren't starting, why this is detrimental to the careers of so many young players, and so much more. What's going on? It's Elijah from Sports Talk Indy, where we cover all things Colts every single day. And we're talking about the 53-man roster. Obviously, this last preseason game for so many guys is make or break. And for some of the guys who will never put on a Colts uniform again after the last preseason game tomorrow. Now, this is a big deal. And I think that it often gets overlooked, but there are so many undrafted free agents, so many young guys who look to make a splash and who could potentially face being on a completely different team. There's so many guys who are now either stars in the league or potentially Hall of Great or Hall of Famers, who at this point in their career were cut or all this. So there's a lot of pressure on the scouting department, on the general manager, on the head coach, on the offensive, defensive coordinators to get it right, to keep the guys we need to keep, especially in an injury-ridden team like this. So let's start with obviously the most important position. Now, tomorrow, we have learned that neither Daniel Jones, who is our starting quarterback for the season as of right now, and Anthony Richardson will not be playing tomorrow. And Coach Shane Steichen said that he's seen everything he needs to see from Daniel Jones. And also, he believes that Anthony Richardson, he does not want to risk him getting injured, which I think says a lot about Anthony Richardson. We'll cover a little bit more on that at the end of this video because there's a lot to say about that and where I think the Colts might be headed. Hopefully not, but potentially as they get ready for this final preseason game. So quarterback room. Now, most projections actually have a potential of the Colts keeping 4 quarterbacks on this roster instead of 3. But if they were to keep 3, this is the projected right now as it stands. It'll be Daniel Jones listed first, potentially Anthony Richardson listed second, and Riley Leonard with Jason being moved back to the practice squad. This is not super surprising. Riley Leonard obviously being one of their draft picks from this year, Jason being from last year. So it's not super shocking that they might be choosing Riley Leonard over Jason Bean. I think both have had a fantastic preseason. In fact, as Colts quarterbacks go, I think these two guys have had the best preseason of anyone. So I like them both a lot. Obviously, I'm a big Riley Leonard fan. I think I love to watch him play. And Jason Bean, too. I mean, he's just electric. Every time he gets the opportunity to have the football, I think it's fantastic. So obviously, we hope to see them both still with the Colts, whether that be in a practice squad or on the team. Honestly, again, I think they both have had a really, really good team. So here is where the Colts are looking to stand with the running back room. Obviously, there's a lot of people on this room. So let's cover what 7 are currently on the roster and who they look to keep going forward. It's Ulysses Bentley, the 4th, DJ Giddens, Tyler Goodson, Khalil Herbert, Nate Noel, and Naquan Wright, and Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor will be running back 1, and it is looking more and more that DJ Giddens will get that RB2 slot with a potential of Khalil Herbert stepping into the RB3 spot now with the injury to Tyler Goodson. If they do keep a 4th one, expect that to be probably Tyler Goodson. If he is not on the IR, if he is on the IR, I would expect Ulysses Bentley, the 4th, to be that last running back. There's good. Yeah, I think that's probably where it would go. There's 12 wide receivers currently on the roster as it stands. Here are the 6 that I think the Colts will take as it goes. There's Aju, Josh Downs, Ashton Dulin, Anthony Gould, Tyler Common, Adonai Mitchell, Coleman Owen, Landon Parker, Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman Jr., Blaine Taylor, Laquan Treadwell. Now, obviously, Michael Pittman, Adonai Mitchell, Ashton Dulin, Anthony Gould, and Josh Downs are pretty much locks for that position. I would expect Laquan Treadwell to remain with the team on the practice squad. And if they do pick up another guy, expect that to be Coleman Owen. He looks very, very good, has had a very good preseason and training camp. Expect him to be big this coming season, especially if he does stick with the team. Very good return man, especially if they're hoping to keep Josh Downs out of that position, which it does look like they're wanting to do. Anthony Gould, obviously being very, very good. He's actually drawn quite a bit of interest in the trade market, as well as Alec Pierce. I wouldn't expect either of those guys to get moved before season start by any means. Tight ends. This is where it gets interesting because there are a lot of names on this list, a lot of longtime Colts on this list, Obviously, first round draft pick Tyler Warren. Now, here's where I'm going to try and do this as unbiasedly as possible. I'm a big Jelani Woods fan. I loved him in 2022. If the dude can stay healthy, I really, really enjoy watching him. Yeah. So here's where I think they're going to go with this thing. Keep four tight ends. It's probably going to be obviously Tyler Warren, number one, Mo Alley Cox, number two, Drew Ogletree, number three, and this is where it gets interesting. I would expect for them to go Will Mallory, but don't be surprised if Jelani Woods gets that nod for the last tight end position, with Sean McCown being the guy who was left off. Jelani Woods obviously had a very, very good 2022, was one of the only people on the team to have a good 2022. But yeah, I would expect to see that being the case. Now, here's where it gets another area that's interesting is the offensive line. Tanner Bortolini, Marshall Foreigner, Wesley French, Matt Gonzalez, Marcellus Johnson, Quentin Nelson, Danny Pinter, Bernard Raymond, Josh Sills, Braden Smith, Luke Tentuna, and Jalen Travis, Dalton Tucker, Mose Vavo. I do not necessarily expect a whole lot of movement here, but it is an interesting place. Expect Tanner Bortolini, obviously, to be on this. Matt Gonzalez, both 2 draft picks from last year. Quentin Nelson, Danny Pinter, Bernard Raymond, Braden Smith, Luke Trenuta, Jalen Travis, who's the rookie, and Dalton Tucker, who shocked everyone last camp when he was able to make the roster as an undrafted. Here's my picks for the defensive line. Who I think a lot of, none of this is like crazy. None of this is out there. But here's where it looks like Adam Awore, DeForest Buckner, Samson Ibukam, Neville Gallimore, Leatu Latu, Laquan Lewis, Kwity Paye, Grover Stewart, and JT Tumoal. I do have to remember how to pronounce his name. I always forget. My apologies. Obviously, my light just died, so that's fun. Linebackers. You get 4 linebackers. It does look as though these are pretty much locks. Now losing EJ Speed. I don't think that's going to be a massive loss, but here's where it looks. John Batchy, Jalen Carleys, Zaire Franklin, and Cameron McGrone. With guys that are going to be lose is Solomon DeShields, Joseph Vaughn, Austin Ajaik, and Segan Alubi. I don't think there's a lot of I don't think there's a lot of movement here where I would expect a lot. Here's one of the bigger positions is the cornerback positions. Here's where I expect them to go with a surprising name on here, at least one, maybe 2 surprising names on here. Juju Brents, Jonathan Edwards is the surprising name. Obviously, I think he is one that has really shocked a lot of people. I don't love this. I think Samuel Womack really made a name for himself and would really love to see him back on the roster. But now with the addition of Xavier Howard, it does appear that they need to cut one of their younger guys, and Samuel Womack being the guy on the chopping block. Jalen Jones, Chris Lamons, and Kenny Moore II, followed by Travarius Ward, with Samuel Womack being moved to the practice squad. Don't be super surprised with any of that, but I do think that's probably where they're going. And here is where I think they're going to go with the safeties. This is kind of surprising. Daniel Scott making a name for himself after missing last camp and last season and the season before due to injuries. So expect to see the safety room be Cam Bynum, Nick Cross, Daniel Scott, and Rodney Thomas II. No real shocks there, except for Trey Washington likely not being on the team. I honestly, if there's room, I could see them keeping Trey Washington on here, but we will see. And then finally, special teams. Luke Rhodes being the long snapper, longtime guy, Pro Bowler, Rigoberto Sanchez, and Spencer Schrader. Those are the guys that I expect, unless barring anything major happening in tomorrow's preseason games. Those are where I think they're going to go. Obviously, locks being the veterans that they've signed. I think there's a lot of potential for movement here. Expect to see guys potentially like Ulysses Bentley or Tyler Goodson or Khalil Herbert. Tyler Goodson I don't think will be there because of injury. I have not gotten yet an update on that injury. So if anyone has a news on that update, I just haven't been able to, I haven't seen anything on that, and we haven't covered that yet. So love to hear more. But yeah, that's who I think is a lock. Now here's, if you're sticking around at this point, which I hope you are, here's some interesting little theories and potentially rumors that are going on from the inside of the Indianapolis Colts room. There are rumors that the Colts are keeping Anthony Richardson out and potentially as a trade leverage to keep him healthy in case any team wants to make a late move. Now, there's a lot of speculation on this around the league. And in fact, rumors of 2 teams being linked, who both have veteran quarterbacks, have been linked to potentially trying to trade for Anthony Richardson. Those two teams being the Los Angeles Rams and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So those two teams, I would not, again, those are two of the teams that I would expect to potentially be in the market to make a trade for someone like Anthony Richardson. The Steelers have also been linked heavily to rumors for Alec Pierce. We covered that on the last video. We're going to cover everything going on, and we're going to cover live breakdowns. So if you're still here, again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, join the community, and we'll see you on the next one.